There's some news going around today about a cyber attack from China coming into the United States. It's interesting because you see these once in a while where Russia or other countries have kind of come after certain bits of our infrastructure. Um, it's not unusual for that to happen. Sometimes it's larger scale, sometimes it's smaller scale. If you talk to any defense contractor out there, there's more than 1,000 cyber attempts on their stuff a day. And who is it? You never know till you know, right? So um, attacks on infrastructure are dangerous because what happens if somebody just figures out how to shut off ATMs or somebody figures out how to stop all credit card processing or debit card processing for a series of 4 hours, right? What does that do to everything? Because who carries cash anymore, right? Maybe some, but not enough to really kind of do much, right? I carry a little bit because my kids might need $5 to go out for pizza with their friends, but that's really about it. So one of the things that working in the defense and aerospace and university research systems allowed me to do was interact with some fairly high-ranking individuals, including a four-star general on occasion, three-star generals, a couple two stars. And one of the ideas for this book was to kind of amp up the volume on this one. So we brought in a biological attack, which was written pre-COVID, and probably could have gone nuttier with that, but it also said, what happens if our smart weapons turn stupid? Because I had this conversation once with a three-star general about what keeps him up at night, what really threat is out there that really kind of makes him look at it and go, holy crap, that could be a real problem for us. And it was if somebody figures out how to get into our systems and turn our smart weapons stupid. Now, I know somebody's going to say it's a closed loop system. Military systems don't have access to civilian systems. I get it. There are wireless links in between a whole bunch of things, and not all of them are point to point, right? Some of them are different. So there are weak links in that mix. And if somebody could figure out how to do that, that would be a big deal. But let's spread it out from military. Let's look at the world in general. What happens if somebody shuts off electronic transactions for 5 hours? How does anybody buy gasoline, groceries? I mean, how do you check out at the grocery store? There's nobody there anymore that has access to the cloud-based system that has all the pricing information in it, right? You can't do it. What would happen in the United States if people couldn't order off of Amazon Prime for 4 or 5 hours? We got a lot of weak links that are in our electronic systems. And forget all the shopping stuff for a minute. What happens when all the electronic gadgetry at the power station quits working and that clicks out for hours at a time? What happens when the water company's transmission stops working for hours at a time? And it's not just a matter of what happens here at my house or your house, because a couple hours, okay, no big deal. But what happens at the hospital? What happens at any of these critical care facilities? What happens in a much larger sense? It's a dangerous situation, and I don't think we've actually taken cybersecurity rash seriously as we should in this country. Mostly because as a professional in the technology space myself, we tend to be very reactionary. It's not a problem for us to go spend a bunch of money fixing it until it happens. Well, in this case, it might happen and it might just be a little bit too late. But that was part of the point of this book is what happens if our smart weapons turn stupid, at least in a military sense. Now, what happens in an economic sense, that's a whole different thing. And our ability to respond militarily to things is definitely tied to our economics. So if you knock out one, you knock out the other. And I think it's something that we always hear about cybersecurity, but we never hear about really new advancements other than just sort of we made it we made it blockchain now. It's 256 bit. It's you know all these fancy terms for it, but there's still hackers out there that are very successful because the electronic system's not the problem. You and I are the problem, right? So we provide the weak link for hackers all the time. I don't necessarily always use uh, passwords as strong as I should. I'm sure nobody else does the same. Nobody comes up with 20 random strings for every password. It's not the way the world works. It's not necessarily a computer problem so much. It's as much a people problem as it is a computer problem. But what I'm saying is that cybersecurity is not a joke, right? If we really were attacked and really were attacked successfully, I'm not sure what the United States would do after about 2 days. I'm pretty sure we can make it through day one. But what happens day two, three, four, right? That's a whole different story. So it is something to think about. And this book right here does turn a not so blind eye to what happens when our smart weapons become very, very dumb. It's not a good thing. Hope everybody has a great holiday season.